All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have another Wuthering Waves survey, and I do believe it is for the current active version 2.2. And this is coming right before the anniversary. This is coming at a bit of a controversial time in the history of Wuthering Waves. And what we can kind of see, right, is focusing on Avenolium, rain being suspended, all of that stuff. We got a bit of an update from Yang Yang, glad that's occurring. And I just wanted to see what all these questions were, what these devs are prioritizing and what they're asking for, and whether or not we can actually give some good actionable feedback to improve the game as a whole. So with that, let's go ahead and start filling out this questionnaire. My eyes hurt. Okay. All right. So with that, thank you for agreeing to participate in this survey. Please answer all the questions, blah, blah, blah. It's just a terms of agreement, whatever, EULA thing. No problem, right? We'll just go ahead and move past it. So far, how would you rate your overall experience in Wuthering Waves 2.2? New content includes the new main quest, the Maiden, the Defier, the Death Crier, new region, Avenolium, new companion story, and new Resonators, Cantarella. I'm gonna say very satisfied. I really like this version. I think that this was one of the best versions that Wuthering Waves has ever had as a whole. I think the only critique that people have had for this version is that it's been shorter, and there wasn't that much time for Shorekeeper's Banner. But with the devs just recently announcing 10 pulls of every type before the version ends, there's nothing you can really say as a detractor from this version anymore, because these pulls are going to be available in version 2.2. Arrow Rover sucks. Oh, yeah, we can talk about Arrow Rover and Gust of Welkin. That might be the only thing. So it's a 9.5 out of 10 to me after these rewards, with the only sour mark being the state of Arrow Rover. Only the state of Arrow Rover. That's the only thing that I would say is a detractor from this patch. So with that, that's enough for me to put very satisfied. I view this as like an 8 to 10. Let's keep moving on. Based on your experience in the current version, how satisfied are you with the following? Overall satisfied for combat, very satisfied for story, overall satisfied with Resonator building, and very satisfied for world exploration. I'm only overall satisfied because I feel like Cantarella's a little janky. I don't actually like using her. I don't like her need to like use a heavy attack to like enter Delusive Dive and then like, or to use Delusive Dive and use Mirage. I feel like sometimes it's like using her doesn't feel like that good. I know a lot of people do like using her. She feels a bit clunky to me, and like sometimes I'm like doing a basic attack when I like don't want to, and then like her skill sometimes feels like I press her skill and I don't know that I used it. Her animations all kind of like blend together, and I feel like I'm like, oh, okay, what did I just do? When I'm playing her, I'm watching her forte circuit instead of what the enemy is doing. That's why I don't like her. When I play her, I'm focusing entirely on what her forte circuit is doing, how it's going up and how it's going down. I'm not actually looking at what I'm doing on the battlefield. Yeah, there's too many effects I can't really see. So that's my take on it. And of course, the state of Arrow Rover. Resonator building, I'm going to put overall satisfied because I think Gust of Welkin is just like, it feels like a very dumb set to have in the game currently. I feel like Gust of Welkin is like, if you're using it currently, you're actually just griefing. There is no circumstance where Gust of Welkin, the new arrow set, is like good in any way. You literally cannot get like any benefit out of it at all unless you're using Confession Phoebe. And that's just griefing if you're using them and Arrow Rover together. So it feels like a very pointless echo set, but maybe that's the point, right? Because in 2.0, when 2.0 released, Tidebreaking Courage was a pointless echo set. So maybe like that's, you know, maybe that's not really a problem for them. All right, next up, based on your experience in the current version, how satisfied are you with the following? I'm going to put overall satisfied because, again, of Cantarella's kind of lack of visual clarity in her kit. I don't know what I'm doing half the time I'm using her. And while her sound effects and stuff like that are cool, yeah, it's a little rough. UI design, I think it's great, especially the new Virtual Crisis event. The UI for that looks fantastic, and every new thing that they've added to the game, it's nice and clean. I think there's a reason why they haven't done big overhauls to the UI, because I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Environment visuals, Avenolium looks awesome. Looks great. So does the new Boar Waters, as well as the whole Phasalia inside. The inside of the Phasalia mansion during Cantarella's story quest. Events and challenges, very satisfied. I think they had a good blend of the casual events. They had a good blend of the sweaty ones like Virtual Crisis, as well as the new co-op event. It's all there. It's all good. And there's a blend, right, of, again, the leisure events where you don't have to do very much and still get the rewards. And they also have the very sweaty ones as well. And those are a ton of fun. Based on your experience in the current version, how satisfied are you with the following? performance optimizations, co-op experience, and music and sound effects. Overall satisfied with performance optimizations. Unfortunately, I lag a little bit in the co-op event. I don't know anyone that's maintaining high FPS in the co-op events. It's a little bit rough. Yeah, it does lag a lot, and then entering and exiting co-op is a little bit laggy too. So maybe they need to like figure something out. I'm actually gonna put it as neutral. I'm actually gonna put it somewhat dissatisfied, to be honest. I'm gonna put this as overall satisfied because of the performance optimizations. These two are linked together. If the performance was better, co-op's a very satisfied 10 out of 10. Music and sound effects, they're great. They're great. What do you think about the amount of playable content in version 2.2, Tangled Truth in the inverted? It's like, my critique is that the co-op event should have started earlier. Because I think 10 days for an event like that is too short. The event itself isn't short, but it should have just been extended longer because it's such a fun event. And so it's like, I'll put limited content because of just that. Hopefully they let me put in a second response to clarify that. Because the co-op event is so good, it should last longer. And that's the thing. I think that the fact that it only lasts 10 days is such a miss because it's so well done, has so much replayability, so many different team comps you can like experiment with. It also should just be a fucking permanent game mode at this point. And only having 10 days with it at the very end of the patch feels like a miss. How satisfied are you with Virtual Crisis prototype trials? Very satisfied. Yep. Which of the following disaster trials and Virtual Crisis prototype trials do you not find satisfactory or in need of improvement? The Sentry Construct one is actually probably the most fun. I don't think the Dragon of Dirge is very good. The starting enemies having an overlapping field of HP drain that will almost instantly destroy any melee character makes them feel very unplayable in this mode, in just this stage. I wish there was a different way to debuff players without making certain resonators feel unusable. Yeah, they're literally harder than the Dragon of Dirge itself. I remember just trying to use Camellia against them, and I was like, this is like the least fun I've ever had playing this game. Like, I'm just over here, I press E on Camellia, I spin like 2 times, and then I'm like dead. I spin 2 times, and then she just dies. And it's like, maybe I could figure it out what to do. I could figure it out how to, like, allow her to survive. But at that point, it's just, like, it doesn't feel like fun. It feels like I'm struggling against something or, like, mechanics that just, like, aren't fun as a whole. The only performance issue I had with co-op event is other players' skill effects majorly obscured the boss and made it hard to see their attacks. I think there's a way to turn off your teammates' animations in the settings. I think that there potentially is a way to actually turn off your teammates' VFX in the settings. I think they have a setting for that. So, personal problem. Maybe they should have reminded players they could do that. They should have reminded players, potentially with a pop-up or something, every time there's a co-op event, that it's available as a setting. That would probably be the main suggestion then. Just remind players that that setting is there. Because guess what, guys? If you have a Jinxie on your team, it's over, bro. You're cooked, bro. Jinxie on your team, you're cooked, bro. You're not seeing anything. How satisfied are you with if you gaze into the abyss of dreams? I would say overall satisfied, with the only thing being the connection issues being a bit of a problem because I have like 50 less FPS in this game mode compared to every other one. Oh yeah, Phoebe is also just going to destroy your fucking visibility. How satisfied are you with the Raguna weather forecast? I'm actually very satisfied with it. I just liked having a chill event where I could just like sit there, fly, revisit all of these different areas of Raguna. I actually didn't find it a problem at all. Sure, you could make the criticism that like, oh, like you can just like AFK and do it. I had a bunch of other shit to do in the patch, so I didn't really care. Right? I just like getting the free rewards without, you know, just like walking in and claiming them. I prefer this over low logistics where I just like go into that, press buttons. At least I can just like, yeah, look at stuff, right? How satisfied are you with Lolo campaign set sale? I think a lot of people actually like the story that was incorporated in this event. I think Zani was like actually a part of it. And so, yeah, people that like the story, I could see how they like this one. But yeah, it's the same event that we've had multiple times. How satisfied are you with Wind of the Past? I mean, it's just like an exploration event, right? It just like asks you to do stuff in the new Avenolium map. Yeah, it's just having you do stuff in the Avenolium map. It's just an incentive to explore and stuff. No big deal. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, it gives you a reason to explore additional incentives. How satisfied are you with the Avenolium Travel Atlas? Yeah, I mean, again, it's just more reasons to explore and, like, look at the new area. These would be bad if the new area was bad. These would be not good if the new area was not good. But the new area is good, and so the event is good. That's kind of my take on it. Yeah. How satisfied are you with Acropolis Documentarian? I kind of don't like this. I kind of don't like this. I find these ones to be, like, a little bit annoying because they don't necessarily need you to explore. A lot of it is just like, okay, like, walk over to this spot. And it's like, okay, nice, right? I'd rather have one where it's, like, an objective where I, like, complete something or, like, do a fight. This one's just like, okay, walk there and then, like, fiddle around with your gadget. Take it off flight, put it back on the camera, and then do that. Feels a little bit, like, tedious. What do you know about Scale of the Past? Photo spots in all regions. I knew that. Yeah, I knew all of these. But that's because I played it since the start of the game. This is available since, like, Mount Firmament, and they've been adding it with basically every new region. And so somebody that's new might not know this, but I have because I've been playing since day one. How satisfied are you with version 2.2's text quality? I mean, I didn't see any, like, major typos or anything that's, like, trash. I think it was all pretty good. Yeah, dialogue was great. Nothing felt, like, overly wordy. Everything felt good. Yeah, text quality is fine. Do you have any additional feedback or suggestions regarding the text quality? Keep up the great translation work, concise but detailed dialogue, and great story flow. Yep. Which of the following for Cantarella do you find the most prominent? For coordinated attacks, her concerto efficiency. Yeah, her damage buffs aren't good right now. Her control... We just talked about why I have no idea what I'm doing whenever I'm playing her. Her DPS is okay. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like these two. Those are the two main ones. Because the only team I play her on is with Jinxie. Because she's just like an objectively worse option than everybody else in pretty much every other team. Yeah, the only team where she's like a top pick is with Jinxie at the current moment. Yeah. Her DPS is actually good. Sure. Okay, we'll put that on there. In actual gameplay, what is Cantarella's primary role in your team? Team support and damage boost. Yep, team support and damage boost, not main DPS. How interested are you in acquiring multi-role resonators, support, survival, healing, and DPS like Cantarella or Brant? I'm actually very interested. They opened up a lot of fun team comps. One of the most fun team comps I've had is Sanhua, Chang Li, and Brant. That's a fun one that I like. And I feel like Cantarella simply will be able to lead a team like that, but just doesn't have the teammates at the current state of the game to do that. So maybe in the future, we'll see. In the past 6 months, have you convened any past resonators? Nope, because I pulled all of them. I pulled every single unit in the game on their debut banner. So that's just going to be a no for me, dog. I have, however, pulled a new weapon. I pulled Blazing Brilliance in 2.1 because of all that free crit we're getting on Rover and Havoc Rover, or Spectro Rover and Havoc Rover. And so I want the only crit damage weapon in the game, or crit damage sword in the game. Why did you convene past weapons? They can enhance my team's combat performance. They are strong in battle. And I didn't manage to acquire them. Yeah, it's these three. Assuming we release a set number of our Resonator outfits yearly, how often would you like us to release paid outfits? At moderate intervals with 2 outfits to a version. I kind of like this. I kind of like moderate intervals with 2 outfits a version. That sounds good to me. I think that's what they're already doing. Short intervals with 1 outfit, you could maybe see that, but I like having 2, to be honest, because the chances are you'll find a skin that you like with 2 at moderate intervals. You'll probably have a skin that you like. Based on your experience in the game so far, do you have any additional feedback or suggestions? The co-op... Why does this always happen? Earthquake, right? The co-op event, this patch, was very good. So good that it should have launched earlier so that we could have more than 10 days to play it. However, it also has some performance issues that are causing big FPS drops across gameplay when entering or exiting the mode. I also have critiques when it comes to the usability of Arrow Rover and the Gusts of Welkin Sonata set, as they both have almost no purpose in this update and are not good ideas to build for new players or even experienced ones, because they are not great options in any team currently. It is also disappointing that there are no refinement ranks available for Blood Hack's Pledge, as its amplification ability is essential to Arrow Rover's buffing. And without the ranks, the weapon is also really bad. All right, that's that. That's the feedback. We just submitted it. I think we're good. That's going to be our take on the update. As you can see, I kind of wanted to rate it like a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. I thought that it was actually one of the best updates that this game has ever actually had. There are some small things that have caused some issues with it, but the main things are just like performance things with the co-op, and then, you know, the implementation of Arrow Rover as a whole. And we also talked about, you know, some of the visual clarity, some of the clunkiness of Cantarella. But as a whole, right, it was a very enjoyable patch to play, a very enjoyable patch for people to experience the story of. And I think the events as a whole were very, very, very awesome. I would love to see Virtual Crisis again. I would love to see the co-op event again, maybe with some more refinements, some more improvements, and some more optimizations. But as a whole, complete banger patch. A lot of great things for players to experience, and it's not surprising that a lot of people really enjoyed this one. And if it grew the player base a lot, that's not surprising to me at all. So with that, let me know what you all thought about this feedback. Again, these are just my honest thoughts. I'm not afraid to point out when things are bad, but this patch was just really that good. Let me know what you all think. Peace.